Cookie! Me smell cookie. Me want cookie. Hungry! Nintendo presents The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Yo! Hey guys, my name is Haylison Gaming, and I am so excited to be able to bring to you a brand new saga here on YouTube. I can't even put into words how excited I am. So, the aim of this channel is we will be playing through the entirety of the Zelda series within timeline order on slightly harder settings than normal. So, for instance, right now with Skyward Sword, we are looking at hero mode. I'll explain a little bit more later on with that. But the first thing you'll notice is that there is a clear lack of cutscenes. And this is because we have the ability to skip them. I won't be skipping all of them. Just ones that aren't quite as important to the lore or to the story that we're trying to tell within the episode. Within this series, we are looking to combine game theory, game lore, anything else you can think about really to do with the Zelda universe, connect the games together, and play through the games together all at the same time. There's going to be a lot going on. It's Horwell, and he's going to confirm that we're in hero mode and that today's the day of the ceremony. Hero mode is a whole different beast of a game. Basically, the idea is that you take double damage. The hearts do not drop anywhere. Anything that would normally contain a heart does not. And the only way that you can heal is via the use of a potion or finding a heart container. Or a heart piece for that matter. There'll be certain quality of life things that will make happen as well within the videos, things like climbing speeds, and I'll explain that a little bit later on. It's not something that's involved within the game, but what we will do is we will speed them up just to make it a little bit more watchable. And right now we're going to go catch our favourite little pet, Mia, who is sort of like a bush baby crossed with a cat. I don't know, crossed with a lemur. It's a heavy crossbreed of a lot of different things, but it's super cute. So we're going to head up and we're going to, first of all, demonstrate what we're going to do during the climbing speed. You'll also see in the top right-hand corner a little skull, and some numbers will appear later on in-game. Those numbers are related to how many times I die on hero mode. I do not expect to get through this cleanly. A little background on me. Hang on a minute. Oh man, this thing's so cute. It's like a little baby. I would love one of these as a pet, honestly. But yeah, a little background on me. I've been playing Zelda games since I was like about 4 years old. I started with Link's Awakening, and I've never really looked back since. I have some games that are favourites. I have some that are not so favourites, and I've learned a lot of different ways to play the games, although I'm not going to profess I'm a speedrun master or anything like that. And for instance, like Skyward Sword, I've played once. So this is actually a semi-blind playthrough. I do not remember certain things. Yummy. So, I think we're probably going to skip the cutscenes in here as well, because again, they're not too important. They just tell us that the Loftwing's been taken from us. However... No, however. We're gonna skip, I think. So, this is one of the quality of life differences that I really enjoy within this game. The ability to just get into the gameplay and go on an adventure and go get your way around Skyloft really quickly. I absolutely love Skyloft. It is one of my favourite cities within the Zelda universe, as it were. I think it's just really pretty. It's really well thought out. And a lot of the characters have got really good backstory within it, so it works really well. I think I think at some point I'd maybe like to rank the the cities. So, like, looking at Orden, looking at... what would you look at for Ocarina of Time? Because technically the starting area is the Kokiri Forest. I guess Kokiri Forest there. Clock Town, and so on. I think that would be really cool. But we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to head to go find the main man of the hour. Here he is, in case you missed the title screen. It's Groosey, baby! This guy is probably the most well thought out non-player character in the whole Zelda series. And I know that sounds crazy, but this guy's got a lot of backstory. And it's kind of strange, actually, that he's given so much backstory and so much thought and fleshing out to his character. But yet, he's not an integral part of anything, really, going forward. He's just a character that Link is bullied by, who later on has a bit of a redemption arc. And that's kind of odd. I mean, the Zelda series aren't known for doing that. A non-player character is normally just that. You know, even Malon and Talon in Lon Ranch are probably the closest characters you get, or Saria are probably the closest characters you get to a fleshed out character, but there's still not much to them. So why does Groose deserve so much love? And that's kind of what I want to get down to by the end of this episode. Groose is different. He's different to everyone in the entirety of Skyloft. There is no one that's quite like him. There's no one that's quite as brash, quite as arrogant, as rude, or even that looks like him. And there's no one that's quite as developed, as I've said before. Almost from the off, you feel a connection with Groose. Whether the connection is that you just don't like him to begin with, or that you immediately take a like to him because of the fact that he is archetypically the bad guy or the bad boy. He's not really. He invokes emotion within the player, and this is odd for a non-player character to do this. So, what does make Groose quite so special, and why does Skyward Sword focus on him so much? Well, I believe there's quite a good reason for that. A regular theme that we're going to see within this series is how this series almost talks directly about ascendancy, descendancy, and laying a path to come. We know that Skyward Sword, is the first game in the entire series chronologically. We know that because of Hyrule Historia. So, based on the fact that it's first in line, and it was one of the first games acknowledged after the timeline was created, it only makes sense that almost everything within this world nods to something that happens later on down the line. Especially so when you look at characters from, say, Ocarina of Time, because this is pre-timeline split. And this means that there could be a direct line down and a direct lineage from character to character. Now, Groose is a little bit of a difficult one. But there's only really one lineage I see him following. That lineage is that of the Gerudo. There's a few things really that point it out to me. First of all, Groose's hair, the eyes, in fact the general facial makeup. When you look at it, the only thing really that Groose has different to, say, Ganondorf is pointed ears as opposed to rounded ears. But you've got the big red hair. you've got a very strong physique, tan skin, and yellow eyes. It's actually the yellow eyes that I want to focus on, because the red hair exists within characters other than the Gerudo. Malon, for instance, is most definitely red-headed. However, it's not as strong a red, and the eyes are more what I'd like to focus on, purely because of the fact that yellow eyes don't exist anywhere else apart from within the Gerudo. The Gerudo are, of course, the race of thieves within Ocarina of Time, and they are known for only having one male born into the lineage, as it were, every 100 years. So, based on this, we could suppose that we would know that there haven't been many males between the time of Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time. However, I'm not convinced in some theories stating that Groose is necessarily the king of evil or a direct ascendancy. You see, for me, something doesn't quite add up. Groose has a complete character redemption arc in this game. And I'm really sorry if you've not seen this game before and this is your first time watching, there will be spoilers ahead. By the end of the game, he's fully on board with knowing that he's not the hero, but he wants to help the hero. Even if that hero is someone that he bullied for years and years. This turnaround in character doesn't match Ganondorf at all, and while the appearance is relatively similar, I just don't quite see how one eventually ends up with his thoughts so twisted and corrupted by malice, as it were, that he does a complete 180 once again. For me, I see those yellow eyes and I see someone completely different. I see the Sage of Spirit, Naboru. Naboru is an interesting character because she's not fleshed out very much even in Ocarina of Time, despite the fact that she is a sage. You help her as a child by obtaining the gauntlets. You then help her as an adult after the curse is placed on her and defeat her as an Iron Knuckle, saving her life effectively. To me, it would seem almost as if Naboru needed a little more fleshing out. Maybe all of the sages do. And perhaps actually a character with a redemption arc and a storyline that screams, I tried to be the bad guy, but in fact, I'm not, actually really does help Naboru more. After all, Naboru was part of the Gerudo clan. Naboru saw that the clan, as it were heading in the wrong direction. Just grab this chest quick. I normally forget this one. Nice. So, once again, back on with the story, as it were. Naboru realised that the direction that the Gerudo and the evil king Ganondorf were going in was not correct, and Naboru then, as a result, decided to break into the Shadow Temple to take the treasures inside. Effectively, if Ganondorf can't have them, I will. If I can't have them, no one can. She almost has an entire redemption arc within the space of the Spirit Temple alone. She realizes that she doesn't want to be a part of the Gerudo anymore, so breaks into the Spirit Temple, gets kidnapped by Kuime and Kotake, and brainwashed into being a servant of Ganondorf once again. Only when Link or you defeat her can she then return back to being normal. While it's brainwashing and not a complete change of heart, as it were, it definitely seems to fit the story a little bit better. Also, taking just a little bit of a look closer between Naboru and Groose. Groose doesn't match physically either. And I know that seems a bit odd because they're quite both large, burly men. However, there's something that doesn't quite add up. And I can't quite put my finger on it. There's almost a femininity to Groose and a vanity to Groose that isn't there within Ganondorf. But I could certainly see that being more the case with Naboru. After all, she's portrayed as a beautiful thief. Perhaps this suits a little bit better. It's a bit of an odd thought because game theories around the internet, as it were, have almost all settled on the idea that Ganondorf and Groose came from the same line. They've got to that line based purely on appearance, purely yellow eyes, red hair. But when you look at the character and you look at the behaviours, I just don't see how one equals the other. And I know and I understand that Ganondorf becomes Ganondorf effectively due to Demise's actions. However, I don't fully buy that he wasn't evil to begin with, as it were. I don't fully believe that Ganondorf didn't lead the band of thieves known as the Gerudo prior to becoming imbued and infected with the malice that now seems to literally control everything he does, to the point where in parts of the adult arc, Ganondorf never returns. He remains Ganon. He remains an evil wretch of life that, yes, is all powerful, but has lost almost all sentience and lost almost all intelligence. He's just a brute. I don't know. Like I said, this is an idea, it's a theory. But to me, it would certainly feel a lot more like Groose is erring more on the side of Sage than he is on the side of pure evil. I don't think Groose has pure evil in him. He has a bit of badness and a bit of misunderstanding, perhaps. But I'm just not seeing evil. So that concludes the my ramblings and my storyline for today. But I believe that all of the sages are represented somewhere within this game. And I believe that the representation of Groose is effectively Naboru later on down the line. What do you guys think? I know it might sound a little bit out there because obviously we've almost all believed the theory so much that Groose is Ganondorf that Naboru kind of got ignored. But what do you guys think? Do you think it sounds plausible? I think so. Wow. We actually covered a lot of the gameplay during that section as well, which was nice. We're aiming to get our sailcloth now, which is a pretty cool mechanic. We'll visit that properly later on. But he still makes me laugh now. What? Can't you see I'm in the middle of... And she's going to scold him. Gah! This game is actually quite comical. If you read the voices out loud, it ends up quite comical. Pulling off all the dangerous moves. There's that vanity again. See? I don't know. Ganondorf doesn't seem like a bragger to me. I just can't... I can't see it. So we get to fly the giant birds properly in a minute, which is actually really fun. The controls can be a little bit convoluted, but because we're playing with button mode turned on and not motion control, we got this. It shouldn't be too difficult. I remember when this game first came out, its biggest criticism was the fact that you only had motion control and you couldn't turn it off. And the issue with that was that the motion controls were so janky, it just didn't work very well. In fact, it actually put me off of playing it. I got... Where did I get to? Probably till about Elden Volcano. And I was searching for the key parts. And it just drove me crazy. So I gave up. And it wasn't until I picked up the Switch version, the HD remaster, that I actually finished it. So it's relatively recently that I finished it. But at the same time, I don't remember much. But we're going to get to go high to the top of the Goddess Tower, which is... So this whole sequence for Skyloft is actually quite long. It feels a good sort of first hour of gameplay. And I don't really want this first video to go that far above sort of half an hour. So I'm going to go to as far as... Where should we go to? We'll do this race. We'll do... We'll do this race and we'll see what happens from there. This is actually quite an easy race to shortcut. Now, you can try and tackle it head on because your Loftwing is probably slightly quicker than theirs. But the cleverest way to play this is just to go through the middle every time. So you've basically got like a round arena. And if you cut right the way through the diameter of it, you'll be pretty much up with them. Or able to grab the bird itself. If you see, like, I'm chasing it now, that doesn't work. And it doesn't work purely because of the fact you just don't pick up enough speed. If you either go higher than it and then below and then try and cut out like I'm doing here, you should find that you should be able to meet it pretty much head on. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah. We're going to get it this time. I missed it. Oh my god. How did I do that? That's crazy. I have probably the worst luck when it comes to these sorts of games. There we go. Right, we got him. Only that's stage 1. Stage 2 is getting pelted with eggs. Let's see how you fly with egg on your face. Aren't those like Yoshi eggs? Oh my god, they are. That's savage. Could you, like... Presuming that this all took place way before Mario did, are Skyloftians the reason why Yoshi's, like, aren't really around anymore? I don't know. Hey, we got it. We got the bird statuette. That looks awfully awkward. Like, it's not being held by him, but he's flying past it, but it's staying in position. I felt like they should have had him grab it there. And here she comes! You cannot tell me in this game that she does not have a love interest with Link. You cannot tell me that. I will just not believe it. Like, she's pretty much all over him from the word go. Look at her. That thirst. Come on. Let's get on with the ceremony. I'm going to skip her pushing me off the tower because I think that's just mean. I don't really like being launched. Thank you. Right. Now she's super happy because, you know, we landed. Apparently it's amazing that we can use a bit of cloth to land on the floor. Actually, from that height, I kind of... Would that amount of fabric hold? No, I need to not get into map pack realms. That's not a good idea. She's so cute. With the weather being so nice, you think maybe you'd like to go fly around the clouds together? She's asking you on a date, dude. Do it. Ah, this is so cute. It's so heartwarming. I love the relationship these guys have, honestly. Mikhail? Hey, Mikhail? Today was amazing. Watching you win the race and performing the ritual together, it was fun. And it really was wonderful. that's probably one of the first times we see Link not be quite so stoic as well, to be fair. They kind of tried to flesh him out, still without making him talk. Is something I've been meaning to talk to you about? Big blinded light. Apparently, she wanted to talk to him about the big blinded light that was in the sky that she didn't see at all. Or the big tornado that she didn't see at all. Where'd that even come from? It was nowhere near. Your guess is as good as mine. Uh-oh. We got trouble. Of course, Link goes for it and gets powered back. And we're falling. Still falling. I'm not even going to try and do Fee's voice. Like, what would it be? Like, because like my Android voice is very specific. It is just like generic. I am waiting for you. I can't make that happen, but I don't think she's robotic either. She's just a really weird sentient sword. I don't... Woo! Oh no, Cookie Monster gonna eat you! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute blast. If you've enjoyed what we've done today, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And don't forget to smash that notification bell for more content of a similar nature.